what's that, Mauricio?
No, I say I totally missed that once. That's great. So now I'm screwed.
Yeah, that's basically a variation of what most people associate with the fried liver. Hey, how's it going? I'm Dan Fradenburgh, and this is for Chess with Commercial Real Estate Investors. I'm a commercial real estate guy, and Mauricio Rauld helps all sorts of commercial real estate people and people who are raising money who don't want to go to jail or lose their business, which I think is potato. It's still really, really bad stuff. But how are you doing today, Mauricio?
I'm doing good. I'm a little nervous here. I'm about to play a little chess that I haven't played in a while.
Yeah. But I ripped that Band-Aid this
I want to commend you for the brilliant idea. So I'm looking forward to it as long as we can figure out how I can get on this thing.
Giving some background, I get that, I really appreciate that Mauricio embraces the concept. For me, it's still a little bit new to me, and it feels like I'm oh, good, and you're white, so you go first.
So I just go? Shall I just start?
Yep. Go ahead. You have to, or else it'll auto abort if you take.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so we're doing E4. That's good stuff.
I'm just gonna go straight up.
Right. So the first thing I think everybody needs to know about you, it's actually not even about you, which is you need to know what it means to sell a security. And I like to point out that Shark Tank, where you've got a bunch of rich guys up on a panel and somebody pitching a deal, that's not okay.
That's right. It depends on. Sometimes it's okay. So this is going to be tough. Right? I gotta talk securities laws and focus.
Oh, not really. Just as far as like broad strokes. Mauricio is not your attorney, and you need to have your own attorney. But really, what I'm trying to get at, for your sake, not for Mauricio's sake, is just making sure that you understand that if you have a business and you're trying to raise capital for it, then you need to have a securities attorney, just like Mauricio. So
yeah, no, I'm just kidding. This is going to be a great challenge. So yeah, when you're pitching deals, so when you're selling securities, as you know, Dan, you either have to register or find an exemption, because you're in the business of selling securities. So the Securities and Exchange Commission really cares to make sure that you're giving all the proper disclosures. So some exemptions allow you to go pitch. So like there's an exemption called the 506C. That allows you to go on Shark Tank and do whatever it is that you want to do. But most people don't rely on those exemptions. So if you're relying on an exemption that doesn't allow advertising, like a 506B or one of those, then you would not be able to go on Shark Tank or any of those things to pitch your deal. So it's really important to work with your securities attorney so you can figure out exactly what it is that you can and cannot do before getting into too much trouble.
Right. And the reason why I make such a point of that is just because I don't think it's intuitively obvious. And what I mean by that is clearly if you if you just come up with a business idea, I think most people would assume that you can just go ahead and pitch a billionaire that you see in the street.
Right.
But really, it's you have to understand that you're basically making commitments, and if you are just a Yahoo, they have to find some way to stop you, I guess, is the way I'd put it, and that's what.
Yeah, and that's what all these regulations are for. I mean, these regulations really are meant to, in theory, protect the investors from getting scammed or whatever. So it just imposes a requirement for you to just make sure that, which is a good thing, by the way, just make sure that the investors go into these investments with their eyes wide open, with all the information that they need to make an intelligent decision whether they should invest or not. And that's all the SEC is really trying to do, is figure out, make sure you get all the disclosures in there and all the representations. And then depending on whether somebody's accredited or not accredited, they may need more or less protections according to the SEC.
Mm-hmm. 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 But one of the things that I don't know if I'll own it for legal reasons, but I did think of the series that you were doing with Jay Scott, I believe. What was it? Where you're doing shots or something like that, or having a beer or something, a glass of wine.
Yeah, we co-host that. We have a couple podcasts that I do. One of them is called Drunk Real Estate, And that's a podcast that I do with 3 other guys. One is Jay Scott, obviously one of the bigger pockets OGs, and then AJ Osborne, who's one of the top self-storage folks around, and then Kyle Wilson, who's better known as Ashley Wilson's husband. So we do a podcast. We talk about anything real estate, but a lot of economics, and just anything that would be interesting to a real estate investor. And that's where we have a lot of fun. So there's a lot of drinking going on too, so which makes it a little bit more fun.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's I think it's really important to work with people who can take a joke, just because for me it kind of seems like a personality similar to stone, and stone shatters, it doesn't bend,
right?
So like that's what I'm really a little bit concerned about when I see somebody who just can't take a joke ever.
You can't take yourself too seriously. I mean, as you know, Dan, because we've spent a little bit of time together. Even though I'm an attorney, I'm not your typical attorney. So most people call me the anti-lawyer. So I'm definitely somebody who can be a little bit more lively, go have a beer with someone and have a good time. Not to make fun of my colleagues, but most of them are really stuffy and not fun to be around.
Yeah, and I also get that there are drawbacks to mixing business and pleasure. I definitely get that, but so I should also relate to the audience, because by this point they've probably seen an episode or two. One of the things that stood out immediately to me when Mauricio came on is that little number 1137 up there. And so if my body language changed at all, that has something to do with it. And that's why my rook just went bye-bye. And I got to leave that there. All right. So there you go. But I shouldn't be too surprised. I can always say it's like, well, it's black. Like a 5% higher chance of losing with black. Oh, you got that.
I haven't really played in a while, but it gets it's funny because I used to play chess, as a kid, but with a board, and it's really hard if you've never played chess, or if you haven't played online. Mm-hmm. It's a difference to see a chessboard like a real chessboard that you're playing with somebody across from you, or even some people actually don't like this so much they'll play online, but they'll have a physical board in front of them, mm-hmm. because it's a huge difference. It is a big difference. It's harder to see things, and it took me a while to be able to see the board on a flat surface and a 2-dimensional versus a 3-dimensional, which I thought was always interesting. Mm-hmm. I was playing a lot during COVID, as probably a lot of people were doing stuff that they didn't used to do, and then I was getting almost too much. I was playing way too much, but I'm glad we're playing this. I'm going to blame you. Next time I see you, I'm going to be telling you that I've been spending 6 hours a day playing chess, because I'm going to start getting back into it.
Well, before that though, I need to resign and offer rematch. Okay, there should be a pop-up in the bottom right-hand corner. There we go. Now I get to start with white. And so I guess I have to say to myself, I will not do the Tennyson Gambit. I will not do the Tennyson Gambit. I will not do the Tennyson Gambit. Are you familiar with the Tennyson Gambit?
It's funny because I was doing a couple of opens, but I've forgotten all the opens. So I don't think I'm familiar with the did you say Tennessee Gambit?
Tennyson.
No, I don't.
Yeah, Tennyson. Okay, so what I'll do, you can see my screen, and I'm not at risk of a timeout. But basically, the way it goes is you gambit this pawn right here. You go, then that goes over here, and I have to move fast. I'm going to do a normal opening though. So what I was trying to say though is, instead of doing what I just did, you move to e4. This pawn likely takes. Knight spins around here. Most people will wind up defending with that, and then you end up threatening this pawn again over here. And it's your turn. You can go ahead.
Yeah, and it's it's possible that I would have fallen for it too. I mean, because this has been a while.
Well, it's also a variation of what they call the ICBM gambit. Mm-hmm. And it's basically it's definitely an opening trap, but if all goes well, then you get the opponent's queen for free.
Yeah, there were a couple. I was studying a couple of cool openings that usually work at this level. That really, it wasn't that dramatic, but it would get a rook or something, or really get them into trouble.
Right. You're probably talking about like the fried liver.
I don't even remember the names of it.
Okay, cool. Well, so that's what I'm like. I didn't expect to be able to really talk shop about openings, but I figured one of these days it's gonna happen where somebody's gonna come on, take me to the cleaners repeatedly, and I was looking forward to that. So I did. I think you mentioned that you got to see a little bit of one of the first episodes. Did you get a load of the sound effects?
No, I didn't. I just wanted to see exactly how this thing was. If it was really what I thought it was, which it is, it's funny because your brain's focusing on trying. If for those of you who don't play chess, it's like your brain's really doing all these puzzles in your head, and so to carry a conversation and focus at the same time, I think it's probably mathematically impossible. It's probably like you're focusing on the question and the answer, and then you're focusing back on the game.
Right.
But this is
Right.
fun.
Right. It's really tough, especially if you have some sort of obligation to keep the conversation going.
Right.
Which that's kind of more my responsibility. But what I did
Oh, there you go. There you go.
kind of
Totally
get
missed that one.
to get the sorry, what's that, Mauricio?
No, I totally missed that once. That's great. So now I'm screwed.
Yeah, that's basically a variation of what most people associate with the fried liver. It's just basically having the bishop focused in that corner, and then you whip the knight around to fork
Yep.
the rook in something else.
Yep. That's great.
But you're using the black pieces, so this is normal, right?
Yeah, I guess.
We'll see how we'll see how it goes. I shouldn't.
You're
I'm
pinning me over there.
way too soon.
Let's see here. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, this is great. No, I'm enjoying this though.
Yeah, it's so what I have. I think the thing that people will dread in the future, as they know they're going to appear on this show, is there's a dun dun dun, and that means that the last move that happened was a blunder.
Oh, yeah, you should have put that in there.
Yeah. It's in there. Yeah. So
I didn't hear it. Okay, got it.
Oh no. So we get to concentrate. Like if you heard those sound effects, it would completely throw you off, right?
Yeah.
Well, it would throw me off anyway. Especially there's one. My favorite sound effect is the distinct sound of a person being whacked in the face with a shovel. Yeah, so that's it's really wild for basically to try and get that monkey brain going for people, so you gotta have more than one play at a time. So okay, yeah, let's try that. Yeah, it's but the other thing too, I've been saying this in the previous episodes, is that the other thing that crossed my mind that I figured would probably be somewhat similar to this is that show Hot Ones with the spicy chicken.
Yeah, I used to love. I mean, I do love. I used to watch that all the time, and it's weird because it's obviously a food thing. So they were just describing. It's almost like Gary Vaynerchuk's wine TV or Wine Library TV. It's like you're watching people eat or drink, and you obviously can't. You can't picture that.
Right.
All right, what am I doing here? Need to run away like a wuss. Where do I run? Where do I run to, Dan? Let's see here. Let's go over here. I think. Or no, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. This is another thing I've happened a lot. Oh crap! It's like this is the other thing that's I got to be careful where it completes there. Yeah, sometimes I'll move a piece and then you want to put it back and then you screw up and it goes somewhere else. So I was going to do something which would have literally been. Oh no, I'm good there. Actually, I thought I was in trouble, but no, I think I can do that. So let's do that. I don't know what's going on. I can't see anything. Sorry. Oh, that's the one. I was looking at the other one. That's not good. I'm probably dead right here. What am I missing here?
Right. So one other thing for the audience, which so I don't know if I ever got into the degree to which I'm a linguist with you, but
No, tell me about that.
well, a big part was just living in Taiwan for 15 years, and so just getting people to lose their accent and basically sound like they're from the Midwest, even though they've never left the island of Taiwan.
Right.
it became more than just a hobby, I'd say. So
Yeah.
linguistically, I'm always paying attention to people's accents, and you personally, you sound like you've lived where you are forever.
Yeah, it's funny because if you're a linguist, when I was a young boy, probably around 10 years old or 11 years old, I had a British accent. I had a really heavy Cockney accent because I lived in England for the longest time. And I
Oh,
still
wow.
had it when I came to the United States when I was 15 years old. And just over the years, I've lost it. And I think I've incorporated my California accent right now. I'm just getting
Wow.
it over here. What's going
So
on?
so so you really mean like East London?
Uh, well, we actually lived in northern, like the Midlands area. So I was like a Wolverhampton,
Okay.
Birmingham, like a Birmingham Cockney accent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Far
So
out.
I've got some videos of some of my childhood videos where me
Oh,
and me
it's
and my
that.
brother.
Oh, but then that's not covered. That sucks.
Oh, get creep close and closer and closer, man. I think I'm screwed here. I've only got one move, I think, and then you're gonna nail me there. I think I'm done, aren't I?
Yeah, but my move isn't covered, and that bugs me.
What do you mean the move isn't covered? I've
Uh,
only got
it's,
one move, and then you're gonna go finish it off. Oh no, you're not. Sorry, never mind. Thought I
yeah,
was.
'cause I mean, yeah, my bishop.
I thought you were just gonna do the bishop there, but you can't because yeah, you're not covering it. I thought I was done. I thought it was checkmate, but I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
man. Ugh, I think I gotta get belligerent. I think
I
it's the
think I
only
gotta get
way it's
more.
gonna
Yeah,
work.
I feel
Unless
like
I just,
I'm gonna turn this one around.
well,
You say I'm like backing up into a corner.
yeah, well, my biggest thing is making sure I don't end up drawing by repetition.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
Ugh, might have to though.
I mean, you're just forcing me to one move. Like there's only one place I can go. So
Yeah. There you go.
all
So,
right,
well
good.
done. Well
Thank
done.
you. Let's go back. It's funny because I usually, if I was at I was going to do this in my office. I have two screens, so I would have been able to see you and talk to you and then I was completely on the screen.
No, no,
So
no, no. Yeah, yeah. That's fun. That's
that's
also
funny.
the first.
That's a good feat. I was in trouble to get a draw out of that. That was
Yeah, it's I
good.
like. Well, what I was thinking here is like I could get super aggro by
That's
sacking
what I thought you were going
everything
to do.
down here,
I thought you were
right?
going to bring in some more ammunition.
But like it just looked to me like something would go wrong really, really soon. Like it looked like the math wasn't working right to me. So because like I mean, move here, you'd have something like this, which isn't like that's not great. But I wouldn't even be able to do that, so I'd be committed to hitting that pawn. But have you followed any of the chess streamers that they have
Like I
out
said,
there on
yeah. I
YouTube?
mean, when I was again, I got into it for a good 6 months. I mean, I hadn't played in decades. I mean, I played quite a bit of chess when I was a kid. Played some tournaments actually, and then I just hadn't done it. And then the internet came along, and it was awesome because not only was I playing, I was literally, as you know, you're playing live people across the world. I was playing people from Ukraine in the the middle of a war. Playing people from Argentina, all over the world. And then there's like all these YouTube channels. And so I'm like, wait a minute, I can learn all these openings. Like I don't have to read some stuffy book that it had to be back in the day. And then I followed the Chesley guy, forget his name now, but so I got one of his courses, so sort of the
Hmm.
openings and stuff. So I was trying to memorize some openings. But so I was totally into it. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's been a couple years now. But
Right,
I was following all the chess tournaments and familiarizing myself with all I didn't even know, I knew who Magnus Carlsen was, but I didn't know who all the other guys were. So
right.
uh, and it was getting a little addictive, though. I must admit, I was spending a lot of time in front of my computer playing, 12 games of chess every day.
Right, and that's exactly it. It's definitely addictive. There's no question about that. One of the things that I was up to though is like I had a feeling with the popularity from Queen's Gambit. I've always been looking to figure out how do I, as the guy on the internet, cast a really wide net, bring more people to real estate, And one of the bigger things I'm doing, which I'm so grateful to all the time we've spent with each other, is that I get people started out properly in the sense that, I say, hold your horses before you start, bugging investors to start up your business. Make sure you know the law. And if I've done even just that, then hopefully we'll get a lot more people doing a lot more exciting things.
Yeah,
Because
for sure. Because it's amazing to me. Because I get into that trap as well when I'm doing my content. Like I tend to get to like already level 3, 4, 5, 6, and a lot of people are on level 1. Like they don't understand that what they're doing is selling a security just because they're buying a piece of real estate. They wouldn't even, and it makes sense. Why would it even occur to you? Or, they may not even really know. I just assume everybody knows what an accredited investor is, for example. But no, there's a lot of people that don't know or have it wrong, or they, whatever. And so I've got to do a better job of just kind of mixing it up. Obviously, I mean, I don't want to be super basic all the time, but really stepping back and be like, okay, like for example, it's funny because I'm also trying to grow my YouTube channel, and literally some of the best performing videos are, I'm doing videos that, like from asset protection and how to do this. And literally the best performing videos are, what is an LLC? Like that video
right,
kills. That kills because it's like, and I'm like, what? Like,
right. Yeah,
how to set up an LLC. And I'm like, wait, I'm talking about strategy and this, that, the other. So it's interesting to just kind of step back.
right. Well, part of the problem is that YouTube isn't a mind reader, right? And so it'll only ever give you what you ask for, and it's way more common that somebody's going to ask, "What's an
Yeah,
LLC?"
right. Yeah.
So that's why, I think the real trick is if somebody wants to make it really big in this space, they got to mix entertainment and real
Yep.
estate
Yep.
somehow. And my biggest concern is I don't really want to be the real estate chess guy unless that's an extremely profitable thing.
Yeah.
But I love the game, but I don't really need to be broadcasting it to everybody. But
It's
hopefully,
challenging because I just having experienced it, it's challenging to have it's well, I mean, I guess the same thing could be argued with the hot ones, right? People are eating these really hot wings and dying, and then suddenly they got to answer these questions. Now, the difference I think is those are more, I don't know, fun questions, or hey, tell me about an embarrassing experience, versus here you're literally trying to come up with, financial matters or real estate related stuff and cap rates and like a little bit more technical, right? Which makes it really challenging.
right, exactly. And
But
well,
fun. I loved that was a I loved it. It was great. I usually wouldn't do something. I'm like, hey, this sounds like a unique, novel thing, and I really enjoyed it. So I commend you for doing it. And I would encourage you to keep doing it.
awesome. So that's going to be a short, and I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't done it yet, please do subscribe. If you have a gazillion subscribers, then YouTube actually starts paying for the videos instead of me, and that's same with Mauricio. So you make sure you check out his channel on YouTube and subscribe to him as well. Mauricio, what's the best course of action as far as a general CTA here for you?
Yeah, so you can, if you want to get a hold of me, I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. So just look me up on Mauricio Rauld on LinkedIn, and of course YouTube. I've got, I think, 200 or 300 videos. I think I've answered pretty much every asset protection or security syndication question there. So give me a subscribe. I'm really trying to grow that. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I really appreciate you inviting me over, and I just had a blast.
All right, thanks a lot, and thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Bye.